Perfect Fit closets using the 2020 design program and using our Perfect Fit Canada Canadian catalog or the US catalog. Today we're going to be talking about using the F3 key, the control key, shift and arrow keys all on our keyboard. The F3 cycles between setting down a part, the control key forces a move, and the arrow keys move modules, as well as shift and arrow key moves modules in increments. Let's talk about our F3 first, cycling between setting down a part. So I'm going to open up my catalog, Perfect Fit Canada Canadian catalog. I could also choose the American catalog. We're going to click on our categories, double click our modules, and let's drag and drop a tall module. I'm just going to drop a standard 24-inch wide module. We'll select OK, and I'm going to drop a part. Let's go ahead and drop a fixed shelf. And I've dropped a fixed shelf. So the F3 button cycles between setting down a part. The most commonly used part that we need to cycle is going to be our cabinet doors as well as our countertops. If I click on our parts, I'm going to choose a door. I'm going to choose the door connect between fixed shelves. If I select my C door connect between shelves, I'm going to drag it into my elevation. As soon as I see my magnet, I'm going to let go of my mouse. And now I can actually move my mouse ever so slightly on the side, and I can cycle between the top as well as bottom placements. If you can move it manually with your mouse, absolutely, just left click as soon as you see the exact area that you want to drop it. To make things easier, instead of moving the mouse ever so slightly, and if you can't fix or find the location that you want to drop it in, you can leave the mouse the way it is. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the F3 button once, and it cycles through the next setting. I'll hit the F3 again, and it moves to the lower location. F3 again, it moves to the upper location. F3 again, moves to the entire location. So it's cycling down between which area you want to go to. As you can see, the mouse is not moving. So let's just say that I want it at the top section. I'm going to stay there, left click my mouse to save it. And now I've cycled the part and I've dropped the F3 button again. So I'm going to right click the C door. We're going to resize the height. And again, I can right click F3, 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 F3. Now let's drop it at the lower section here, F3, F3, left click once, and it saves it. So F3 is a great opportunity to cycle between setting down a part. The other example, I'm going to move this over to the right side, or left side, I should say. Now let's go ahead and grab a cabinet here. Let's drop in two modules. We'll drop in a tall module, and let's say we're going to use a countertop. Let's put this module at 34 or 33 9/16. I'm going to drop in this module. We'll drag that over and up and down. So let's set this to the floor. Set another one just like it beside it. Once I see my magnet, I'm going to let go of my mouse. A new dialog box appears. We'll keep all the settings the way it is, and we'll keep it at 33 9/16. And we're going to subtract the panel on the left. We'll select OK. And now we can, oops, I selected the mouse button by accident. Let's just drag that over and drop. So I've connected two modules together and we're sharing one panel. So let's go into our categories, parts, and underneath parts, let's scroll all the way to the very bottom underneath tops. So I can drag my tops in. Once I see my magnet, I can let go of my mouse. And now it wants to cycle it. I can move my mouse ever so slightly, but I want to have the top so that it encompasses both of these modules together as one piece. This is another area where I'd use the F3 button. So I'd hit F3 and it cycled through, and now it's attaching to the other module as well. Cycle F3 again, it chooses the right side. Cycle F3, choose the next module. So I can just keep hitting the F3 button. This is where I want it. I'm going to left click on my mouse, and now it has cycled to where the part wants to be dropped. So those are two examples of the C door as well as the tops. where you can use the F3 to cycle between setting down the part. Next is the control button. The control button on your keyboard forces a move. So for whatever reason you want to do it, maybe you want to go through the design for whatever reason, you can right click. So let's just say that I want to move this module over to this section here. Okay, so let's say that I want to move this module to the right side. If I right click it and I hit drag, I can't go there because this modules are in the way. The two modules that I just placed are in the way. So I'm going to hit the escape button again. This time I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to right click the module. I'm going to left click drag. Now I'm going to hold the control button on my keyboard. So I'm holding it down. Now I'm going to move it with my mouse, and now I'm forcing the move, and it's going right through the other modules. As soon as I'm through, I can let go of my control button, and now I've moved my entire module. I can left click right here, and it saves it in place. So the control button will force a move. So again, we're going to be hitting the right click, dragging it, and holding the control button, and we're going to force the move. Next are arrow keys and shift and arrow keys. I'm going to go to my top left-hand side and click on the File tab. In the File tab, I'm going to left-click on Preferences. If I left-click on Preferences, I'm going to select the work area. In the work area, at the very bottom, Item Move with Arrow Keys. Move distance by 12 inches. So if I select an item and I use my arrow keys, regardless if it's up, bottom, left, or right, it's going to be moved by 12 inches. I could always increase or decrease, and it'll save the settings for future. So if I wanted to say every time I moved my arrow keys, I want to move it 3 inches, I can certainly do so. It's going to save it here. And item move with arrow keys with shift button. And let's just say that if I want an incremental change, I'll hold down the shift button. I'm going to click on OK, and we're going to confirm it's saved. File, Preferences, and we're going to go into the work area. So it's saved. So I have 3 inches moving by distance by arrows, and with the shift key, only 1 inch. So you can play around with the different dimensions. We're going to select OK. Now, if I select this tall module, I know it's selected because I could see the 4 navy blue squares. I am now going to hit the right arrow key on my keyboard, and now it has shifted 3 inches. You can see it's 19 3/4. I'm going to hit the right arrow key again, and it shifted 3 inches again. If I hit the up button, it has moved 3 inches. I can move the down button, and it's moved 3 inches. If I hold the shift button, please take a note, there's 16 3/4 on the right-hand side. I'm going to hold the shift button, and now I'm going to select the right arrow on my keyboard. And now it's shifted 1 inch because we told the program that if I hold the shift button down and the arrow key, it's going to shift only 1 inch. So you can play around with the settings, but the arrow keys and the shift and arrow keys work great when you want to incrementally move a product or specifically a module. If you have any questions regarding the using the F3 button, control keyboard button, shift and arrow key buttons, please do contact us at support@perfectfitcanada.com.